Welcome back. All right, news of the day video for all you fine people on the internet for your Monday. It is December the 8th. We'll start off at the top of the screen. Logan Cooley of the Utah Mammoth dealing with a lower body injury. He's out indefinitely. He's been banged up for a while. I think after the Toropchenko collision, and we heard there was a contusion on his leg there. I'm not saying it's related. Just it's felt like with Cooley, he's just had bad luck recently. So indefinitely is not what you want to hear, especially when you're about a third of the way through the season. So is he going to miss the rest of the season? What's going to happen there? We shall see. But for Cooley, he was having a very good season, and so hopefully he can return before the season is done and maybe help Utah get into the playoffs. But interestingly enough, the article on TSN, a major sports news channel in Canada, says that Cooley won the Art Ross, not last season, but the year before. Well, he didn't win the last year or the year before. He's never won the Art Ross. So people are calling this out right now on social media, that it looks like TSN's article is AI slop. And this is becoming a thing. So big corporations are laying off people. We don't need people. We can just get AI. Yeah, AI is interesting. I've been using AI to look up myself and my wife. And in one instance, AI said that my wife passed away in August. Not true. One of them as well said something about me being single. Also not true. Maybe the AI is trying to date me. I don't know. I mean, there's the AI girlfriends too, right? So maybe one of those wants to date me. But it's not 100%. Like, the idea that corporations are just going to turn to AI to write articles and you can just get rid of reporters is insane. But this is what's going on with the big corporations right now. So my answer to that is, follow your independent reporters. Especially the rinkside reporters are the ones that I pay the most attention to on social media. I know they're real people. I know they're not using AI to write their articles. But the big corporations are, and this is becoming more and more prominent because it saves them money, right? You just tell AI, well, we want this article on this, and it's done. And there you go. So, smarten up. Don't do that. But at any rate, so this is one of those things that we're dealing with. Obviously, I'm not AI. People have interacted with me in public, and honestly, AI has no interest for me. I think the whole thing is just, it doesn't actually think for itself, and it just pulls information from elsewhere, and sometimes that information is wrong, like Logan Cooley winning the Art Ross Trophy. So beware of what AI tells you on the internet, because apparently even asking about myself, and I don't argue with it either. I think my favorite thing is when I see somebody arguing with an AI. And obviously Grok is one, like on X there. Well, I see people arguing, well, why would you say that when? It's like, it's an AI, dude. Why are you arguing with it? Why are you are arguing with a machine? It doesn't actually have thoughts on the matter. Anyways, so I wanted to point that out at the start here. I'm sure TSN will fix the article in that they'll probably remove that line. But it definitely seems like a lot of these corporations are starting to use AI more and more. And the one thing to keep an eye on is that, and this article, it says written by TSN staff. Is it? Anyways, so I just wanted to say that to start things off today. The AI slop is AI slop. 3 stars of the week. Sorokin, your first star of the week for the Islanders. He went 3-0, 960 save percentage and a shutout. Ottinger's the second star. He went 3-0 as well, 961 save percentage and a shutout. I did see somebody pointing out on social media, Sorokin beat teams that are definitely better than the ones Ottinger beat, so it makes sense he's number 1. Number 3, Verhaeghe of the Florida Panthers, 3 games, 4 goals, 1 assist, 5 points. Verhaeghe, I've mentioned how he had been struggling, and now he has a good week, and I think that it definitely helps to be in a market where when you're struggling, you're still getting that support, and everybody's still pretty happy about you. So, and that's what I've seen with Florida. Verhaeghe, it seems, has never lost that darling status. It does help winning back-to-back Stanley Cups. It definitely helps winning back-to-back Stanley Cups. All right, so those are your 3 stars of the week, not 3 weeks of the stars. I wonder if there's a way I could do 3. Anyways, whole other conversation. Hellebuck returns to the ice for the Winnipeg Jets. He is, of course, nearing a return. This is great news for the Winnipeg Jets and their fans. Without Hellebuck, their record has been not great. Although it did feel like before the Hellebuck injury, the Jets were really starting to struggle. So maybe getting Hellebuck back can be one of those launch points where they start getting a heck of a lot better than they've been lately. Brzustewicz has been recalled by the Calgary Flames. Brzustewicz is considered to be a very good prospect for this team, and so we'll see what kind of role he has with the Calgary Flames in this recall, but it makes sense to be looking at Brzustewicz. And keep in mind, the Calgary Flames have had a very strong record recently, so who knows? Maybe he can start that process of getting them into more of not necessarily a playoff spot, but more competitive towards that playoff spot. I don't think there's anybody in the West that's really, truly, completely out of it. Nashville and Vancouver are close, but and Calgary was early on in the season looked like they were out of it, but maybe not. Vancouver. So as we continue to hear about the trade rumors and everything, Kiefer Sherwood. Kiefer Sherwood's a very popular Vancouver Canucks player, and apparently there's as many as I think I was reading, it was like 11 teams that were in on Sherwood. But now the team wants a good roster player, and a first-round draft pick has been out there as well. Now I assume it's one or the other, not both. But this is a big ask. This is a big ask, and I'm a huge Kiefer Sherwood fan. And I know his $1.5 million cap hit is a huge bargain, and teams would be lined up for it. But I don't know that the Canucks are going to get and hearing a good roster player back, so you're willing to basically, trade player for player. I like NHL trades. However, the Canucks need to be getting futures. So they've been offered good prospects for Sherwood is the rumor, but they want a good roster player, and a first-round draft pick's been out there as one of the things they're asking for, too. Remember, the 2026 draft's considered to be pretty good and pretty deep, and I don't know how many teams are going to be wanting to move a first-round draft pick, especially if that's for Kiefer Sherwood. So, and Sherwood has had his struggles offensively lately. I think he's gone 7 games without a point. I don't want to see Vancouver overplay its hand, but they could. They absolutely could here. And end up getting a lot less for Sherwood, say, two months from now than they would have got if they traded him a few weeks ago. Jet Wu has been placed on waivers by the Canucks. He's been on the injured reserve since the season started. He'll be going to Abbotsford after he clears. I don't see anybody picking up Jet Wu. Abbotsford desperately needs Jet Wu on that blue line. They need more players of AHL caliber. And so getting Wu back will be good for the Abbotsford Canucks. And that is our daughter's favorite player. So he's her favorite player. And yes, because he can say Wu. And who doesn't think Wu was fun to say during games? But I don't think anybody's going to pick him up just for that. I don't think anybody's going to pick him up on waivers for that. Toronto. So the discussion of Robertson rears its head again. Craig Berube saying he's wanting more from Robertson. Robertson's going to be a healthy scratch for tonight's game against Toronto. Myers is also out of the lineup. Yarncroke and Mermis being put in. And I've seen people saying, what does Yarncroke bring? Yarncroke is a true bottom 6 forward. Robertson should be playing top 6. I really think eventually Robertson gets moved by Toronto and gets an opportunity to play somewhere else where he's going to have a chance to shine. I could see like Seattle being a good example of a team that Robertson could potentially have that impact on just because he is a talented offensive forward. Seattle could use an offensive forward, I think, in their lineup to help them, bounce back from this rough run they've been on. But that's just one example. Kings could use another winger of some talent to help them out with Kuzmenko being ice cold this season. But at any rate, yeah, Toronto. Craig Berube saying that his plays dropped off, his being Robertson's, and he wants more out of him. Same thing we hear about Robertson at least once or twice a year out of Toronto. Berkeley Catton of the Seattle Kraken dealing with an upper body injury. He is out week to week. So anytime it's week to week, I always say it's a minimum of 2 weeks. And then from there, it could be more than that, could be less. The Ottawa Senators. So this new building that's going to go in and everything, apparently Michael Andlauer is okay with getting some help from the federal government or the provincial government. I cannot see the federal government helping the Ottawa Senators with their building. I don't know if the provincial government will either. And that's the interesting thing. I'll be curious to see if they get any funding from anybody on this. I mean, ideally, the owner, the billionaire owner, pays the money themselves or finds a way to finance it themselves. And you don't need any government money. There's government money that's involved in the Calgary Flames building. I think that's just provincial. I don't think it's federal. I don't know. I don't know if in the current climate of everything, if if government money going to an arena in Ottawa is going to take place or not. So getting the new arena is, of course, of the utmost importance for the Ottawa Senators. But I don't know if they're going to be able to get that money from the governments, whether it's federal or provincial. So we'll see what they end up doing. But apparently they're lobbying hard for that, so we'll see what ends up happening. The Boston Bruins, Pastrnak and McAvoy, both traveling on the team's 3-game road trip. So they could both return during this week at some point in time. Pastrnak would be a huge addition for Boston, of course, getting him back in the lineup. And McAvoy, like I've said over the last couple times I've talked about McAvoy, the amount of weight that he's lost because of the injury, it does make me concerned about how his game will be when he comes back in. But I'm sure that he and the Bruins will do their utmost diligence to make sure that he is good to go and that there won't be any negative impacts of him coming back too soon. But yeah, we'll see how long it is. He did shed the non-contact jersey today, so he's close. Could very well play in their next game. Once they've shed that non-contact jersey, they're not far off. Braden Point returns tonight for the Tampa Bay Lightning against the Toronto Maple Leafs, so that's entertaining. Braden Point not having a fantastic season offensively at the time of the injury. Maybe the time off will help, and maybe he ends up getting a goal or two tonight. We shall see. Craig Smith has announced his retirement. Long career, 987 games, 220 goals, 232 assists, 452 points, playing for Nashville, Boston, Washington, Dallas, Chicago, and then finally for Detroit prior to his retirement. So all the best to Craig Smith in retirement, and all the best to you, any of you watching this video. I hope you're having yourselves a wonderful Monday, and if you're not, well, Tuesday's coming. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. As always, hit like and subscribe in the event you may not have done so already. Thank you guys so much for all your support. It's greatly appreciated. I will talk to you again soon.